Women in Focus, a podcast by British Naturism. Hello and welcome to Women in Focus, a podcast brought to you by British Naturism. I'm your host Helen Berryman, and today is a special edition of Women in Focus. We are celebrating our 12th episode. That's right, episode 12. That means we've been going for a whole year. And today's guest is extra special. I'll tell you later. But before we speak to our next guest, I just want to remind people what Women in Focus podcast is all about. The Women in Focus podcast is dedicated to celebrating and empowering women, created by women for women, as we celebrate one of the things we have in common, which are our bodies. We celebrate our nudity and we are empowered by it. In every episode, we delve into insightful and engaging conversations exploring various aspects of body confidence and nudity through women's experiences. And that's whether you're a seasoned naturist to those who are simply intrigued about why we would want to go without clothing. The goal here is to connect, educate, and to inspire. We're challenging the societal norms and promoting a culture of body acceptance and self-love. Our shows demonstrate how women across the planet have shed their clothes and freed up their minds, leading them towards a more fulfilling life in all areas, one that no longer keeps them restricted in any manner, including emotionally, physically, mentally, and in many other ways. So for our 12th episode, I am delighted to introduce Linz from Naked Wanderings. Some of you may know we did a bit of an interview with Linz in episode 10 at the Everybody Festival in the UK. But by the time we recorded this interview, Linz was already off on her next adventure. She'd packed up the UK and made her way to Mexico in Zipolite for the INF World Congress. So here she is for episode 12, Linz from Naked Wanderings. Welcome to Linz.
Yay! Thanks for having us.
Oh, thanks for coming on.
No worries.
Now, I can tell from the camera, I can see each other. You've got the best work uniform on. I haven't got my work uniform on today, I'm afraid. It's flipping cold back in the UK. So where are you, Linz?
We're in Mexico. We just arrived a couple of days ago from actually after our big UK and France and Spain tour this summer. And it's good. Life is good. It's a little bit rainy at the moment, but it's hot and humid. So I'm happy to be here wearing absolutely nothing.
So now that you've survived the UK, you can be honest. How was it?
We loved it. And I absolutely loved it. Yes, it was so much better than I expected it to be. The UK is a very beautiful, amazing country. And the people are just absolutely wonderful. We had the most random conversations with the most random people in the most random places all around the UK. And it was awesome. It was really, really awesome. We loved it. And we were quite lucky with the weather. I know you have like a million words in the UK for rain and only 2 or 3 for sunshine, which is very funny. But we were quite lucky with the weather. I think we only had a couple of bad days, but even then it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing.
Yeah, you did pick the right time of year to come for sure. So if there's any chance of any decent weather, then you pick the right time.
Yes, absolutely.
So did you pick up any key phrases while you were in the
UK? Hello. I'm still saying it to everybody, and especially here in Mexico, they will look very weird.
And can you remember some of the phrases we used when you have a bit too many wines?
Oh, yeah, completely tabled and bunkered, and you can just put any word. That's true. But squiffy, that was the one.
That's when you're not quite bladdered yet, just a bit on your way,
yeah.
A bit squiffy.
Yeah.
And British Naturism do squiffy yoga actually at some of the festivals. So rather than just the whole very serious yoga, you go along with your glass of wine and it's called squiffy yoga.
Really? Oh, so I need to come back for that one then. Squiffy yoga. Awesome.
Yes. So we met at the Everybody Festival, which is a 4-day event. What did you think of it?
I thought it was amazing. Absolutely. I've been telling everybody who wants to hear about it. how cool it was, because I love the fact that the focus is not on being naked, but the focus is on having fun and be you. And that is the twist of that festival. That is what I really, really, really loved. There is no pressure. The word naturism, you don't see it anywhere. Naked is not everywhere. So it's just people having fun in whatever suits them, because it's about everybody. And yeah, I loved it. I really, really, really loved it.
Yeah. I mean, it's quite a small festival in as much as I think it was just over 200 people there.
Hmm.
But what I noticed, I mean, it's the first time I've been to that event as well, is the amount of new people,
Hmm.
that hadn't stumbled across naturism before, really, or, had Googled different things about being free or, that sort of thing. And they ended up there and they all loved it, didn't they?
Absolutely. Yes, they all loved it. Yeah. I remember Dayton posting something on Instagram, and he was tagging all of us. And at the end, he said, "You guys now made me a naturist." Like it was a bad thing, but with a wink. So I thought it was very, very funny. It was his first time being naked socially. Just because he said at the end, "You guys made me a naturist now." I was like, oh, okay, that's nice. But that was not the plan, or that was not the intention. You can just be you and be naked or clothed or whatever, but just he felt it, and that was amazing. And I think that is the power of Everybody Festival as well.
I think, if I remember correctly, he performed naked as well, didn't he?
Yep.
At the end?
Yeah.
I thought, yeah.
Yeah. No, but he did. He
Yeah.
performed naked. Yeah, and he said that after 5 minutes he just stripped down, and after 4 days he just put on his clothes again and he left,
Yeah.
and that was it. Yeah, it was very overwhelming at first, and it's so nice hearing these stories, because for us it is something just that you do, and we don't think about it too much anymore.
Mm,
We just go to an event, we strip down, and that's it, and we feel comfortable.
mm.
But it's nice after all these years that I am a naturist or living my life naked to hear these stories. It brings me back to my first memories or first experiences as well. So it's good to remind me of that.
Yes, it is good. I mean, I'm sort of fairly newish, I guess, into it. So I can still remember the nerves and the feeling of, oh, don't know what to expect. But do you remember the journalist lady that was there?
Yes,
Donna?
Donna.
Yeah, she's written a very nice article, but it was just like a outsider's viewpoint, if you like, on, her sort of body insecurities and how she felt okay, like just getting involved with people and, how everyone was so welcoming and non-judgmental. And I think that's the hook for most of
Hmm.
us that return again and again to these types of events and whatnot.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. And that is just a safe environment.
Yeah.
I think that is just key for everything. Non-judgmental and a safe environment. If you can create that, then you're off. And I think Everybody is a very good example of that. And
Yeah.
a lot of people keep telling us, you should have come to Nude Fest. It's a lot bigger. But to be honest, I love that it was small, because I think,
I quite like that too.
yeah, I think I've spoken to every single person who was there
Mm.
at one point during the festival, or it was a very active activity, or it was with a glass of wine, or it was while listening to music or doing some art. It was just, yeah, because there was so much going on and it was not so crowded, I connected with a lot of people, and I love that. Yeah. And the weather was spectacular, wasn't it?
It was good.
Yeah.
But there was plenty to do. I mean, you could do as much or as little as you wanted to get involved with, wasn't there? You did the fitness stuff, I watched.
Yeah. And that was fun. And then we had conversations about that afterwards.
So, the Women in Focus campaign, you've been very helpful. I mentioned in episode 10 that you're always very supportive of what we're trying to do.
Hmm.
And you filled out the Women in Focus questionnaire for me probably about, I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to revisit that a little bit. So, with society, a lot of people don't want to label themselves a naturist or a nudist or anything. Firstly, do you think there's a difference between the two labels, and does it matter?
Nope. Nope and nope.
That's quick.
Yeah. The thing is, we've noticed that the wording is just different in every country.
Mm,
In the US, for example, it's nudist, while in Europe, we use naturist more. In Mexico, for example, the term naturista is like a tree hugger,
yeah.
and it's all with healthy products and everything. You even have stores, tienda naturista, which is a nature store. So they hitchhike that word. So
Mm,
here in Mexico, they are nudistas. So the wording is just, it doesn't matter the naming. It's so old fashioned. But the thing is, we need labels just so we can talk about a topic and everybody knows what it means.
yeah.
So, in a way, we need labels to define ourselves or to make it easier. But the wording is just, yeah, I don't like the wording. And it's like you say, I don't like to put myself in a box. I remember that at the beginning when we discovered being socially naked, among others, in a non sexual way. And people would ask me, "Are you a naturist?" For the first years, I would say, "No, no, 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 no. We just go to saunas and nude beaches."
Mm,
But no, I'm not a naturist.
same.
Why not? Because of the label and also because of the old fashioned history that is linked to it. So, does it matter? No. I think what matters is respect and that you're just socially naked in a non sexual way.
Can't really get much clearer than that, really.
And what being naked is for you, if you're not comfortable yet with taking off your clothes and being there completely naked, but you have a sarong around you or you have your bottoms still up or something, then that's fine. As long as there is respect for towards each other and for yourself, then
Hmm.
I don't really care, to be honest. Yeah.
So, what's in it for you? Why do you like to be socially nude? What do you like about it?
For me, it's the comfort aspect of it. I can't give you a very heavy explanation or a reason why,
Mm,
because I don't have that very complicated, that very heavy reason why I'm doing it. It's just for me, it's the comfort. I just sat upstairs and drinking my morning coffee, and I don't need to worry about getting dressed.
mm,
And then I can worry or think about all the other stuff that I want to do or what I want to think about. And for example, is staring at the ocean and letting my thoughts flow instead of thinking, oh, okay, what should I wear? Should I wear something? Did I need to wear something? Is it matchy?
yeah.
So all of that. So no, it's the comforting for me, 100%.
I can relate to that. I get super stressed if I have to go to a function or something like that, a clothes function. I'm like, oh God, here we go.
Hmm.
What have I got to wear? Is it going to match? Is my bum going to look big? All of that.
That's
And
it.
if you have got that taken away,
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And for me, it's funny because I had that transition before. I'm going to say before I was an actress, and let's call it that way, just to make it easier. See, we need labels just to make it easier. Um, so I was the same. So I worked in corporate life for a long time before we quit our jobs, and in that job, I had to wear high heels every single day, and I had to be like when you just come out of your closet, high heels, skirts, you had to look nice. I was in front of a lot of people all the time because I was a coach.
yeah,
So I had that period in my life. And then I quit my job. Naked Wanderings was becoming more and more a part of my life. And then I just said, oh my God, this is so easy not to think about high heels or not to think about what I should wear.
yeah.
And now when I do need to wear clothes, I don't care anymore. So just because I had that transition of being an actress and not giving a fuck anymore what I'm wearing, I still don't give a fuck what I'm wearing. And I love that version of me. I'm not saying that I don't like the other version of me.
Yeah,
It's just a different version. But I'm not going to say I care less of how I look. I
yeah.
care less of what other people think of me how I look.
Yeah, and that's quite a difference, isn't it?
Absolutely.
And that's a nice feeling. That's a lovely feeling because, like you, I was in a corporate environment as a manager for an optician. So,
Yeah.
always had to present in a certain way and it was quite stressful.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a uniform because I was the manager, so I had to dress in a business attire the whole time. I couldn't do heels though. I'd look drunk when I'm trying to walk in heels. So it's
squiffy.
Squiffy. It's not a good look for me. But yeah, no, I totally get that. And the freedom of not having to worry. And like you say, not really worrying what other people think. But just because we're naturists doesn't mean we let ourselves go.
No, indeed. It's all about what makes you feel comfortable. Yeah. And for example, at Everybody Festival, I had 3 ropes with me. They're very colorful, they're very out there, but I love them. And maybe I was going to say 5 years ago or 6 years ago, I would not be wearing them because they are very colorful and because they are very out there. But now I'm like, it. I love them and they look good on me. So I'm wearing them, whatever you say or whatever.
You're wearing your personality.
Exactly. And if I want to take it off, I'm also wearing my personality because that is who I am. And that is absolutely something that being naked and Naked Wanderings has given to me. Nah, I don't care.
Good place to be.
Yeah.
So Naked Wanderings has been born 7 years, is that right?
8 years. Yeah, we're on the road for 7 years, but it was born 8 years ago. Yeah.
Okay, so for those that may not know, you guys gave up your corporate jobs to do Naked Wanderings.
Yes.
Wow, first of all, and that was quite a huge leap of faith for you guys, I guess. Tell us about that.
It's funny that you say that, but for us, it wasn't such a big step, to be honest. It just felt so natural. Okay, so to circle back, so 12 years ago, actually, Nick and I took a gap year from our corporate life, 1 year, and then we traveled to South America. We loved it so much that when we got back into our jobs, we said to each other, okay, we want to do this again, but longer without an end date. So we started saving money, started working a lot. And then 3 years later, we just quit our jobs and started traveling. We had saved so that we could travel for 2 years. And then in the meantime, Naked Wanderings was born. So we were already writing our experiences on our website. And the reason why we started Naked Wanderings was because all the information that we found online about naturism was very, very old-fashioned. It was very male dominant and very not appealing when you are in your 20s. Let me say it that way. All the websites that we came across were these proud men standing with their hands in their sides, looking over the ocean, that type of thing. And when you are in your 20s, you don't want to see that. That is not what I want to do. That is not how I feel. And also, that's not our experience with naturism or going to nude beaches or anything. So we just started writing. And then we did an article for Metro in the UK. Yes, they found us first. We did a really beautiful interview with them. It got published. And then all of a sudden, boom, the couple that travels naked. We were picked up in, I'm going to say, 50 different countries. We were on the news and newspapers all over the world. And that was 3 months into our trip. Nick and I, we remember that very vividly because we came back from the nude beach in Greece and our phones exploded. And we first thought it was like a major disaster going on. But then we were looking into the messages that people were sending. I was like, oh my God, I saw you in the newspaper in Australia, in New Zealand, in UK, in Europe, and the US. It's like, what's going on? And then after that, all of a sudden, resorts reached out to us. Hey, we saw you on the news. You want to come to our resort and write a blog post about it? Hey, we have a group of people and we're going to the beach in Spain. You want to join us? And we're going to eat paella afterwards. So like, what is going on? And all of these messages from people like, oh my God, I love it. This is what we really needed. A lot of young people our age reached out. Thank you so much for doing this. So it felt really, really good. And Nick and I decided then, okay, let's follow this path. Clearly, there is something. People are looking for this. People want to read this content, and resorts want to invite us, and groups want to invite us and spend time with us. So let's explore that. And now we are 7 years into that journey. We still go from place to place just when people ask us, yes, let's do it, let's do it. And now Naked Wanderings is not just our website anymore, it's a company. We made it our job. We also have a couple of YouTube channels now. We have a marketing business behind it because we're helping resorts in how to be present online, how to put yourself out there. An example is a resort that always used to use models for their campaigns, but that is not how you attract naturists, by using models in tiny bikinis. And they had no idea what they were doing. And then we helped them. And now it is a naturist resort and blah, blah, blah. So it is a lot more than just the website. And it's fantastic. Absolutely loving it.
Well, I mean, it seems like it's grown legs and just run away with itself.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And it's funny that you say that because sometimes Nick and I, we need to sit down. I was like, okay, is this our core focus? Is this still what we want to do? Because the world is pulling at us and people are pulling at us. Oh, you need to do this and this and this and this. And at the beginning, we used to just go with the flow because it was all excited and all amazing. But we also ended up doing things that is not close to ourselves. So we put a stop to that. And now we're doing, I'm not going to say 100% what we want to do, but 89% of the time, what we're doing is what we want to do and how we see it and how we want to grow this Naked Wanderings thing even more. World domination, for sure.
If anyone can, you can.
No, but I mean, it's super important to do it. And that's why I'm always supported to new ideas. And when you reached out, I was like, yeah, let's do it. It's amazing. We need to work together. We need to talk about this way of living or what it is or what it is not a lot more than just the two of us, because Nick and I, we can't do it all. We need to work together, and this world is big enough for a lot of people to do amazing things, and we need to support each other and push each other to do amazing things. I mean, there is already enough negativity in the world, and people are constantly trying to break each other down. For example, you have a podcast, and tomorrow another female can start a podcast about women in naturism, and you could go all crazy. But no, instead, we need to embrace it. And that's what I mean. We need to work together because the world is big, but it can be very small as well. And so instead of breaking each other down, we need to work together. And that is staying very close to myself.
You're absolutely right. I was speaking to another podcaster, Naked Nudists and Naturists, and he told me that the reason he started a podcast was because he had listened to everything there was out there and that he wanted more. He wanted to hear more about it. So he thought, why not do my own? I thought, yeah, that's a good idea. Why don't I? So we're both doing it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Why not? Yeah. Yeah. Why not?
That's right. But I think women who have tried naturism or enjoyed naturism often get quite passionate about it because we know the benefits to us.
Yeah.
You know, for me, it's getting rid of all the body shame and just accepting myself as I am. And I'm never going to be what I was when I was 20. Mm-hmm. So I have to accept that and be okay with that. Mm-hmm. There's going to be loads of women hopefully listening to this going, well, I don't have the body for that. It's all right for her. She can accept it. Or it's all right for her because she's slim or, you know, or she's young. But no, not for me. No one wants to see that. What do you say to women like that?
You're doing it for yourself. It's not about, I don't have the body or people don't want to see that or people don't want to see my body. You need to do it for yourself. And I think that is the first step that you need to overcome. If you're taking off your clothes, it's for you.
100%.
It's for you to feel the wind on your body. It's for you to feel every raindrop. It's for you to feel absolutely free without clothes instead of, oh, I'm doing it for somebody else, or nobody wants to see that, or that's good because she's skinny. You know that a lot of skinny girls have a lot of issues as well. And it's not about how somebody else is looking. It's about what you feel when you look in the mirror. And it is crazy, but it can help to overcome your issues if you're naked. And I find that so difficult to explain because it is a feeling that you need to feel. It's not something that you can explain. How can you explain that you can overcome your body issues by showing your body issues, right? Mentally, that doesn't work like that. It's completely the opposite. But it does. It absolutely does. 100%. I feel more comfortable naked than I'm wearing clothes just because there's nothing itchy. Everything fits, everything fits because it's you and it's your body. And once you accept that, then it's the best. Somebody asked me once, imagine if you and Nick broke up and you want to find a new partner and he is not into it. Would you go for it? And my answer is no. I'm sorry, but no. But I'm not saying I can't be with anybody who's not a naturist, but I want to be with somebody who's open to new things. And Nick is definitely 100% open to new things all the time. And so do I. Because taking off your clothes, it's not like getting a tattoo. It's not there forever, but at least try it. And then you will feel it. And just take off your clothes, go outside, feel the wind, feel the rain, feel the sunshine, feel everything. And all your senses will be at 1,000% because it's so much more intense standing outside wearing nothing than standing outside being fully clothed.
Yeah.
And that is so powerful.
Or the other good one is a skinny dip, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Because you've got the water as a bit of a blanket. So if you're feeling a bit self-conscious, then use the water as a camouflage. But you still get to feel the exhilarance of the elements on your skin. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
And a good shoehorn in.
I think it's so fascinating that when you wearing a bathing suit and you go into the water, or you're wearing absolutely nothing and you go into the water, it's a huge difference. And it's only just a couple of centimeters of fabric.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's not the fabric that does it, because your bathing suit gets wet. Your boobs get wet when you are in the water wearing a bathing suit. But it's that sensation, and it's so much more than just taking off that piece of fabric. It's just this sensation, and it's fantastic. And water is healing. So if you are struggling with body issues, go into the water naked. Or if you take a shower, but you're being very aware that you are naked under your shower and you are very aware of the water, you will feel something inside of you changing. And that is the same, I think.
Yeah. And people say as well, like when you are within yourself in the shower and you're aware of the sensation of the water, then just why not take that little bit extra time to get dressed?
Yeah.
Go and have a cup of tea first or something, and just get used to sort of feeling how your body is without all this fabric on.
Exactly. 100%. It's the little steps. For some people, it's like a Band-Aid and you need to rip it off and go to the beach with 1,000 other people. And that's your first thing. But for some people, it can be just that extra minute staying undressed and just being aware of your state of mind is so powerful. So powerful.
So what do you say to people, I don't mean just women, but people, that if they hear of naturism or nudism, then they assume it's for sexual gratification or intention. Now, we all know it's not, because we are naturists and it's absolutely nothing to do with sex. But the outside world do think they must be up to no good because you're taking your clothes off. Therefore, nudity equates to sex. What do you reckon?
You want my honest answer or you want my diplomatic answer? So my honest answer, if somebody says that, is like, oh my God, dude, you should try it. We'll be very disappointing. We don't have orgies all the time. Or maybe we do. It's for you to find out. I don't care whatever reason it is, as long as they see it and then it has nothing to do with it. Yeah. But that's the thing. It's a society thing. I think we're just so used to only being naked when we are showering. And even that sometimes is tricky nowadays. Because I hear from people that in sports schools and everything and in gyms that you are not allowed to shower naked anymore. It's like, What are we doing? But anyway, different topic.
Mm,
Well, so showering and having sex is the only two times that you're naked. And the thing is,
mm.
I don't want to convince everybody because then our beaches will be full. And I don't want that. We want our peace and quiet.
But what we do want is a level of acceptance and understanding, perhaps.
Exactly.
Mm.
Exactly. And you quickly feel it when you're talking to somebody if they are open to experience new things or are they just very stubborn. When they're very stubborn, I just stopped explaining myself. I was like, dude, whatever. You have your opinion, I have mine. But for me, I just love people who are trying new things, and being naked or go for a skinny dip is one of these things that I think everybody should try it at least once in their lifetime. And a lot of people do it.
Yeah,
That's the thing. A lot of people go skinny dipping.
they do.
They do, but they don't talk about it
But without that label.
without that label. It's without that label and they don't talk about it. Yeah, and they stop there.
I think my first skinny dip was when I was 16.
Voila.
And I was on holiday, like a working holiday, and the grown-ups all decided to go out, all the women decided to go out and do this skinny dip. So I was this 16-year-old among 40s, 50-year-old women doing this skinny dip, and it was wonderful. It was at midnight, it was in Wales, and I remember that. And
you remember it?
Yeah, I always remember it, but I kind of parked it and always as something I have done. I did this thing and I kind of parked it and forgot about it. But no, yeah, I did.
And that is interesting. So if you could go back to that 16-year-old you, what should be around you or available for you so that you were interested in finding out more about these skinny dips or whatever, so that you could explore it more? What would that be?
I don't know. I mean, for me, I think I just parked it, like I say, because it was not my usual people. I wasn't in my usual country, but I was with professional women, doctors, solicitors, teachers, and they didn't care about this whole skinny dipping thing. And I was like, I want a bit of that. Like, look at these confident women just running in the beach, into the sea at midnight, laughing, giggling. And I was part of it and it was nice. But then that was that. It was left and I went home and carried on, but yeah.
But the seed was planted.
Well, it must have been subconsciously.
Yeah.
Took another like 30 years for
Absolutely. But that's fine. That's fine too. Yeah, because life happens.
Yeah. And then maybe if I'd have done it again sooner, could have saved myself a lot of body dysmorphia over the years because it wouldn't have mattered.
Maybe. No, but I think it's just important that you felt one of them. You felt accepted and you were all doing it together, but you did it for you, not to impress somebody else or to see, hey, look at my naked body. No, they all did it for themselves and you did it for yourself too.
I think it was like camaraderie. We were just like a bunch of women just
supporting each other.
Yeah.
Without judgment, without anything.
Literally.
Just being there, being present was more than enough.
And maybe because they were a bit older, I felt it was okay to do. So maybe if it was just a bunch of 16-year-olds, it would be like, oh no, can't do that.
But it's funny that you say it. I think the older you get and the more life experience you have, the more that you have that attitude of not giving a fuck anymore what people think.
Well, I think we realize it's not important.
It is not important indeed. And I am very, very lucky. I'm still quite young, 38, sorry. But I'm happy that I discovered that 10 years ago that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what people think of you. They will speak about you, whatever you do. They will look at you, whatever you do. So why not then do...
Naked or not.
Exactly. It doesn't matter. So why not do something that you love? They will talk anyway. So just do something that you love instead of making people happy, because you will never make other people happy, naked or not. Yeah. I'm so happy that I discovered that very early. And I can't put my finger on it when it happened, but I think I always had a little bit of that je m'en fous attitude,
Yeah.
Talk to the hand because the face won't listen anymore or something like that. I always had that a little bit in me growing up, but I'm so happy that I'm having that right now while I'm still young.
You are still young. I'm not that old, by the way, just saying. But our younger people, so our children, my children in their late teens, early 20s, they know nothing different than what they see on TikTok, Instagram, all of that. So
Mhm.
there is some sort of ideal that our young adhere to. Now, our young are quite lucky in as much as they've got naturist parents, they're fairly body confident, all of them,
Mhm.
even the younger one who wouldn't dream of taking their clothes off. And that's fine. We have to respect that. But she still doesn't body shame other people. And, she has a healthy attitude to people's appearance.
Mhm.
But that's not true of a lot of youngsters nowadays, is it?
I think it can go in two ways because if we look back at our childhood, we had the same role models
Mm,
and they were all skinny and all beautiful and also photoshopped. If you look at the billboards, we had all these bikini models. If you look at magazines, they were all very skinny and pretty. And so we also had our fake beauty standards growing up.
mm,
I think the difference now between when I was growing up and without the internet and now having the internet is it's a lot more out there. These beauty standards are pushed towards us, even if we don't want to see them. But on the other hand, now because of the internet, there is also a platform with people talking about these fake beauty standards and going against it as well.
mm.
And that is something that I can appreciate a lot because I didn't have that when I was growing up. I had no opposite of the billboards or the beauty magazines. You know what I mean? It was only that. And there was nobody telling me, Linz, this is not the beauty standards. This is not what most people look like. My mom did and my sister did. And so that is my opposite. But now I think the opposite voice is getting stronger and
Mm,
harder as well. And I love that. And I think a lot of people are using the social platforms to speak up and say, hey, if you see this, the rolls in my belly when you are on the beach, that's normal.
real.
That's how a body should look like. So I think it goes in two ways. It
Mm,
is
mm,
definitely a lot more out there and it's being pushed towards us and all the filters and photoshopping. And it's just you take a picture and you put it in an app. It's one click to make you prettier, but it's not making you prettier. It's making you faker.
mm.
So I think it goes in two directions. I think a lot of people are following that path. But I also believe that a lot of young people, just because they know that it's all fake, are going towards the other direction
Mm.
because the information is out there as well. And they're going against the stream.
There's a lot of information out there, isn't there? And since we were growing up, I think there's been a lot of changes in what's acceptable within society. So if we talk about gays, trans, I mean, when I was a child, it just wasn't heard of, really.
Mm-hmm.
It's people standing up, making a difference, making their choices heard and
Yes.
recognized as normal has paved the way for younger people now to be okay with
Yes.
whatever choices or however they're identifying. That's wonderful.
Absolutely.
And yeah, so the world is moving forward in better ways.
In different ways. Absolutely. Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. It comes down to the same point every single time, respectful, and that we can just be who we want to be without being judged. And I think now is the time that our voices need to be louder and that we need to work together and make our voices heard now more than ever
Yeah.
in all different ways instead of the old fashioned magazines with the guy standing there proudly with his hands in his thighs. I am a proud naturist. Look at me. This is how we do it. No, this is not how we do it.
Or the same image on Twitter with a mug
Oh, yeah, same
in
thing.
front of
From,
their
yes,
face.
yes, indeed. Yeah. Oh, my God. Yeah, and then claiming this is naturism and this is how it's supposed to be. No, it's not.
Oh, yeah, sign me up.
Exactly, exactly. The world is changing, so we need to change with it.
Mm,
Our perception need to change, and the way we speak about it needs to change. Yeah.
excellent. So, are there any more nuggets of information or words of wisdom that you can share that we've not covered yet?
I just want to say to each and everybody who's listening, you are amazing. You are beautiful. You are a shining star. You are wonderful, fantastic human being. You are alive and do something for yourself. A lot of people are people pleasers, and we need to stop doing that. Do something for yourself. You're an amazing, beautiful, awesome human being, and just kick off your clothes and kick ass. Voila.
There you go.
How about that as a final statement?
Perfect. That'll do nicely. Right. Okay. Well, Linz, you've been wonderful, and we will catch up again soon. But thank you, Linz.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you, Linz. It was so good to meet Linz back in the summer. And that just shows the power of the community of Naturism. You speak to people online and it becomes possible to actually meet in person. And that's incredible. I don't know of many other communities where you actually can get to meet your people from across the rest of the world. Although the weather has turned here in the UK, it's a little cold, the leaves are falling off the trees, we at BN still managed to get in a bit of naturism and social nudity. We met up at British Naturism's newly redeveloped Sunfolk for a meeting with the executive committee. Fire was on, nice and warm, managed to get naked and put the world to rights in a British Naturism way. Lots to look forward to, lots of plans in the pipeline, so watch this space. We always like to hear from you, so please keep your letters coming. Always welcome for suggestions of who you'd like to have me interview, who you'd like to hear from. If I can make it happen, I will. Please remember to like, share, follow, subscribe, all of those things on your favourite platforms. Your engagement really does help. We are looking forward to the next 12 months of bringing you more Women in Focus. For today, I've been your host, Helen Berryman, and we'll see you next time as we bring more Women in Focus.